way to do a video, but it's the way that I want to do it. And that's what this is all about. I'm Ann Leslie Smith, and I'm all about doing things differently, doing things the uncommon way, doing things what they call extraordinary, extraordinary, extraordinary. So let's explain where I am. First of all, first things first, right? So this car is like amazing, awesome. It's a Porsche GT2 RS, and they make like about, I don't know, don't quote me on this, maybe 4,000 of these for the world, or less than that, less, sorry. But it kind of fits my life because my life has been kind of rare, and I wasn't the author of my own life. It was, well, that's what I used to think. You know, I used to think that it was something that I was in control of, but now I've learned that really everything that has happened in the past to me, I've had a lot of setbacks, a lot of traumatic things happened in my life, and they were kind of unexpected because I didn't really pattern my life to be in some of the places and experience some of the things that I have experienced. But that is why I have a channel, because now I'm coming to you and I'm bringing all the experiences forward to try to help you to change your life, to shake you up a little bit, to say, you know what, get out of that rut that you're in. A rut is just a grave with two open ends, okay? So I'm Ann Leslie Smith, and I am the founder of Earthsuit Entertainment and a lot of other things. I'm CEO of a huge vineyard operation, and I have my own charity that helps out people who've had setbacks and homelessness issues, things like that. So I've really plugged myself into life, but it hasn't always been that way for me. I came from an ordinary family. My mom, I would say, not that I blamed everything on my mom, we shouldn't do that, but my mom sort of married the wrong guys, and they were a lot of fun, but fun isn't sometimes where it's at. You know, you have to have fun and responsibility for a balance, or else you get out of alignment. So my poor mom, she had to be, you know, the mother, the father, and I know a lot of you grow up that way, where we're in a single parent family where your mom's both, you know, wearing all different kinds of hats, and you see that. Well, it makes you a different kind of person. You could either do really well from that, and I think I did, or you can let that destroy you. Use it as an excuse, right? But it shouldn't be used. Every setback in your life should be a step up. It should be for a breakthrough, for advancement. So why don't you comment down below that everything in life that is a setback is actually a setup for a breakthrough, okay? And that is the truth. It just kind of has to be that way. Those are the elements of success. You know, it's kind of paradoxical. It's very paradoxical, because the very thing that you think is going to destroy you is actually the very thing that's going to catapult you into success. But the problem is that we get really depressed when we have things happen in our life that our friends don't experience that. You know, we may look at something and say, oh, well, they didn't have to go through that. Why is my life so hard? That's what I was always saying when I grew up. Why is my life so hard? Why do I have to go through this? Why is this happening to me? I'm always asking why, but always moving forward. Well, why? Because it was to get me to where I am now. And some of the places that I've been, I would not be equipped to be where I am now if I had not had those things happen to me. The easy way is not always the best way. The worm, and it's crawling on the ground, eating, you know, garbage on the ground, leaves and dead things, and then all of a sudden it decides to, on its own, go up and make a cocoon and go upside down and hang there, and then it becomes this butterfly that crawls out, never to go on the ground again, never to eat the same diet again down on the ground. But it's flying and eating the nectar, the sweetest nectar around, and that's how your life can be after you've had a lot of setbacks, a lot of misfortunes, a lot of trauma. Those things only help to get you catapulted so that you can fly and that your wings will sprout. I know you've heard all this before, but that's what's happened in my life. All when I look back and think about some of the times, some of the things I've been through that were really hard, it was to get me and equip me for where I am now. And we're going to talk about that on this channel, some of the fabulous places I found myself in because of my setbacks. I found myself in some pretty incredible situations, meeting some pretty incredible people. And I wasn't, I didn't have their degrees and all that. I just was there because that's the way that my destiny was carved out for me. So we can't argue with destiny, right? So comment down below that our setbacks are actually our setups for success. Comment down below again, our setbacks are actually setups for success. And that's the way it works. On this planet that we're spinning around in space, and we're on the outer crest of this big, big crusty ball with oceans on it and dirt and everything, and we're all, getting up in the morning and drinking coffee, almost kind of doing the same things, thinking we're so individual, but actually we're not. We're all of the same consciousness. And I'm going to talk a lot about that on my channel, consciousness, and I'm going to talk about the third dimension and the crazy fourth dimension, which is where the soul issues are. Because it's the soul issues in life that are going to make you or break you. It's the soul issues in our life that will, if you desire to have a car like this, it's the soul issues in life in that fourth dimension that will either make or break you from getting your desires and your needs and your wants. And remember, it's not what you want in life, it's what you are in life, okay? You're gonna reap what you sow. All truths are parallel, and what the seed you sow, that's what you're gonna reap. It doesn't work any other way. If you get a seed of an apple and you plant it, you're not gonna get a pineapple. You're gonna get, that was good, apples, right? I wonder why they named pineapple apple. Doesn't look like one. But anyway, you're not going to get an apple. You're not going to get a pineapple. You're going to get an apple. So I know it's a crazy, crazy thing, but all truths are parallel. So, comment below that the setbacks are set up for success. And let that get into your mind. Let that just saturate in your mind, and then we'll talk, and maybe I'll give you a chance to drive this car. It says it goes 250 miles per hour. Oh my gosh. That's that'll take you to the fourth dimension, right? And the fifth and the sixth and the seventh. It goes all the way up to the 11th. In fact, let me tell you something before we end here. That the scientists are actually finding 11 dimensions, whereas we think we're just stuck in the third, right? The third is the physical world, everything that we see right here. But so much of life is beyond that. So much of life where all our dreams subside and all our goals and where we picture success is in the fourth dimension. And if we don't know how to get there, then how are you going to have success? You're just going to feel upset all the time. And guess what happens when you feel upset? That's when people resort to drinking and drugs, because they want that euphoria. It's the artificial euphoria that they want. They want that thrill, that euphoria. The only true euphoria is in the fourth dimension, and that's the God dimension. That's the spirit dimension, and that's the dimension that you want to be in. That's why some people buy these kind of cars because they think that that's going to provide them a way to the fourth dimension. It does for a little while. Let me tell you, when I first drove one of these, it was like I was in the 14th dimension or the 40th. Let me tell you. But then that soon ends. Then it was just parked in my garage and ho-hum, just another car. I'm a car collector. I love cars. I played with cars when I was 4 years old. I didn't play with dolls. I played with cars, Hot Wheels, right? So anyway, the fourth dimension is something that you can't artificially get. You can't get tattoos, and you can't, get injections, and you can't do, whatever drug you're doing under the sun. You can't change things in your body to get that fourth dimension. It has to come from the inner. There's nothing on the outside that can help with the inside. Comment that down below. That is my big banner. That is the reason why I'm doing the channel, to make you see that nothing on the outside can cure the yearning that you have on the inside to do something, to become something, to overcome something, to be popular, to be an artist, to be a race car driver, to be a movie star, to be anything, to be a CEO of a company, anything. Nothing on the outside can create that. No, coffee, chocolate bars, sugar, anything. Nothing. Nothing can scratch that itch that we all have on the inside. Some people call it the God void. Only God can fill that. Because that's a fourth dimension. He lives in the fourth dimension. Heaven is in the fourth dimension. Angels are in the fourth dimension. All that weird stuff. You know why it's weird? Because we don't go to school and learn about it. They don't teach it to us. So we kind of have to learn it on our own. But in the meantime, what happens is people get into this rut and into this garbage dump area of trying to get that feeling, that euphoria. And then they're out, taking drugs and trying to recreate that in an artificial way. It doesn't work, and then they end up being addicts. I don't, do we need to talk about that right now, where that road leads? I don't think so. You guys know where that road leads. I'm here to develop this channel to keep you off that road. I stayed off that road my whole life. I have friends that are still on that road, but I've never done, talking with them and seeing if, that I can kind of shake them up and say, you know what, that isn't going to do it. That's artificial. You want the real deal in life. Who doesn't? Life's too short. Let's get the real deal. Hey, if you want a car like this, then there are ways to get it. Here it is. Talking about fourth dimension stuff, here's an example. I get a call one day. I was out looking at these when I was in Los Angeles, right? These GT2 and 3RSs. Because, they don't let you drive these cars. You have to buy them without even driving them. But I said to the salesman, I said, you know what? I do not buy a car without driving it. I won't do it, especially at these prices. It's like, what if I buy it? They're as much as a house. What if I buy it and I don't like it? Then I'm stuck with it. So I just said that kind of in passing. But my words were powerful. The salesman called me 1 month later and said, Ann, we're shipping a GT3 RS up to you. Bright green with black stripes, a big wing on the back. And they shipped it to me. And he says, drive it as much as you want. It's brand new. Drive it as much as you want. And I said, what about the miles? He said, oh, don't worry about that. I'm thinking, this is impossible. I hung up the phone. Next thing I know, it's being delivered. Like, this is fourth dimensional stuff. This is impossible things. That people don't do this. They don't do it. So, of course, I drove it around, and it was thrilling and everything. I mean, really super thrilling. But I knew better to know that if there was a feeling inside of me that I had a void, that car could not fill it. It could fill a little bit, but not enough to keep me going. Not enough to in my mind's eye, that imagination that we see ourselves. I still had to do my entertainment company, and the car wouldn't help me get to that entertainment company. It doesn't work that way. I knew I still had to get it. How do I get to form this entertainment company? How do I get clients? That's the thing that I do in my life now. I help people. I'm of service to people. I see people's talents. I see their wants, their desires. I see their quirks. And I place them in the proper places so that they can become something, so they don't have to resort artificially to drugs and things like that. So they can get right to their soul issues. The soul is crying out, the spirit's crying out saying, please, I want to be an artist. Please, I want to be this. I want to have my own company. But we get distracted along the way. And distraction is the #1 reason for failure. So write that down below, comment down below. Distraction is the #1 reason for failure. And I think I'm going to end right there on that one, because that's a lot. That is powerful, impactful. That's why I'm doing this channel. I'm Ann Leslie Smith. I'm the founder of Earthsuit Entertainment, and I'm going to catch up with you a little bit later. I'm going to go 250 miles per hour right now. See you later.